quiz. Not too many of you took it, so I'll just show them to make sure you're in good shape. Listen, the one thing that frustrated me, two mistakes I noticed. A couple of people, when you substituted the x and y in right here, you switched the x and the y. Some people put the 2 in for the y. That's a mistake. The 2 is the x. Remember, it's x comma y. And the second one, and this one I really get a little bit frustrated with. This is easy. This is just a matter of preparation. We said to you that any time it's a bounded interval where there's, it could be so many to so many in a bounded range, if you speak, it would always be these inequality symbols with the t in the middle. Yet a number of people didn't put that. And to me, that just shows that you didn't prepare well enough for this, because that really is an easy question. So, it's incumbent upon you to make that happen. All right, let's take a look, if we could, at last night's homework. And unfortunately, it looks like part of it got chopped off here. All right. This problem talked about one car that goes through a bunch of different machinations. I think for a little while it goes like 25 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour, and then it jumps up to 100 miles an hour. It makes it a point to say that it's reckless. Then it has to get some repairs, so it goes all the way down here to the bottom, where it stays for 2 hours, and then it jumps up and starts riding again at 100 miles per hour. Okay? And then you have a second one that starts 100 miles further along and continues to go at a steady pace. And here's their point of intersection right here. Okay? I'm actually slightly off on the value because, like an idiot, I went 20 each, and on one of these I only put 4 lines in between 200 and 300 instead of 3 lines. So mine is slightly off. But if you got your common solution right around there on the graph, you're good. Okay, questions? All right. Next one I want to go take a look at is, were you able to find the answers to those 4 questions? Okay, any questions on those? Okay, if you can get those, that's a great sign if you're getting those right. Just know to get y by itself. And the last page was to graph these 2 lines, and that's why the previous page was such a great sign, because in this one you have 2 different equations that you have to make say y equals. In the top one, usually we start on the left, but on the top one I started on the right to just get the 9 over there, and then I get y equals 2x minus 9. So I begin at -9, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. You'll notice that when they give you the questions in these forms, you can't put them in the calculator. All right? If you convert it into this form, then you can. Likewise, over here, I needed to do the same thing, subtracting the 6x, then dividing by 3. And the point of intersection is 3.5 common -2. Okay? And then if you were to check those coordinates in both of them, it would work out right. All right? Any questions? Yes?
Well, my graph doesn't work, and I just got like this. Do you see it here?
Well, here's the thing. Did you convert them into y equals 4? Did you rearrange the equation, solve for y, so that it says y equals?
Yeah.
And did you do it properly?
Um,
Did you get y equals negative 2x plus 5?
yes.
And did you get y equals 2x minus 9?
Mm-hmm.
Then if you graph them, they definitely intersect.
Oh, mine doesn't. I probably graphed them wrong.
Yeah, I think you left off a minus sign from one of them.
Probably.
Because if you leave off the minus sign, you get parallel lines.
Mine weren't parallel. They were just like
Oh,
that. I don't know.
yeah, you have, this one, your slope is totally wrong. The slope should be positive 2, which is up 2 over 1. It looks to me like your slope is up 1 over 2.
It's positive too.
Yeah, that's up 2 over 1, not up 1 over 2.
Because I didn't know how to do it for a second, so I did up 4 over 2.
That works.
I did that wrong anyway.
And then you erased it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because what you have there is the reciprocal.
Okay.
All right, any other questions? All right, so now we get on to today's lesson. We're still not nailing question number 1 at 100% as a class. We're probably getting about 80% of you to get it right, 75 or 80%, and we want to get to the point where we can get 100% to get it right. Okay. Equation of the line, passing through. As soon as it says write the equation of a line, it always pops into your head. Hey, whenever it says write the equation of a line, what always pops into your head? Y equals mx plus b, very good. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. So, y equals mx plus b. And my first job is to find the slope over here. And the slope would be y sub 2 minus y sub 1, or better said, the y from the second point minus the y from the first point over the x from the second minus the x from the first. And I keep wanting to not do this step where I write the 2's and 1's, but we're not getting it right enough for me to do that yet. So I'm going to get 3 minus 1 over negative 1 minus 4, which is 2 over negative 5, or negative 2/5. So y equals negative 2/5 x plus b. And I can choose either point. I'm actually going to choose the second point, which is listed first on the left, because that negative 1 times the negative 2/5 will make a positive. So 3 equals negative 2/5 times negative 1 plus b. Negative 2/5 times negative 1 is 2/5, so I get 3 equals 2/5 plus b, and I minus 2/5 from both sides. Die, b equals 2 and 2/5. Okay? That means my equation is y equals negative 2/5 x plus 2 and 2/5. All right, any questions? Okay, good. Now, we go to the next one. Graph the 2 lines at once. And one of these should be really easy. One of them should be a smidgen harder than really easy. Taking a look at the first one. M equals 2, B equals 4. Begin at where the y-intercept is 4, up 2 over 1. Backside there. So, y equals 2x plus 4. Next one. X equals y minus 5. Add 5 to both sides, and I get x plus 5 is y. And I know it looks kind of weird with the y on the right, but it doesn't matter if the y is on the right or the left. Y-intercept, slope is 1, God bless, y-intercept is 5. So here's my 5, and then up 1 over 1. And there is no rule that says they will always meet at a perfect point, but I find it comforting when they do. X equals y minus 5. Always put the original equation on the line. If you write the one that you manipulate into, that's called a derived equation. And we really don't want to do that, because if you made a mistake getting to the derived equation, it wouldn't show. And there is my point of intersection, which is the point 1, 6, I believe. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So 1, 6 is the correct answer. The last thing it asks us to do is to check. if I'm going to check, I don't know how much of this you remember from last year, but what I do is I write both equations, their original equations. Don't do the ones in blue and red, do the original ones that they gave you in the problem. And then substitute 1 for x, 6 for y, because that's the solution, remember. And the point is x comma y. So 6 equals 2 times 1 plus 4, 6 is 2 plus 4, 6 is 6, check. And over here, 6 equals, oh, I'm sorry, 1 equals, I almost put the x in there. 1 equals 6 minus 5, 1 equals 1, check. Okay? All set as far as the check goes and getting it correct. If you can do this question, you're in really nice shape. Not perfect shape, not that you've done anything bad yet, but they're gonna get a little bit harder. All right? But if you can get this one fully right, you're at a comfortable place right now. You're doing the job the way the job needs to be done. Okay, any questions? Excellent. Let's take a look at today's work. Why don't you work with that on a first, with someone that you're sitting around, and we'll go over in a couple of minutes. Go ahead. That's all right. That's fine. Doesn't smell? Yeah. This is a nice example of the level of difficulty you can expect. This is an old Regents question. Sorry, I know you wouldn't leave it. Another 3 minutes or so on this.
What are we doing?
Spencer, you didn't have your take-home quiz today?
No. It was it's in my earth science binder, and my earth science binder's at the Carnegie Library.
Well, he's gonna be really happy to hear that.
Oh, yeah.
That you lost yet another thing.
You know what? It's not gonna be the first time. I'm so scared.
He lost like 4%.
Well, he didn't lose it. He knows where it is.
No, the earth science professor was
Yeah, he lost like 7 of them.
Yeah, but like the information over there is so easy. It's not even.
literally gonna run out of earth science information. My single link on the sketchy website. And use.
Didn't I go to the pizza with you?
Okay, we got under a minute until we go over this. Okay. All right, so I guess the first thing I want to do is change the size of this a little bit. Ah, that's much better. Much better. Okay. So, let's get this going here. Oh, and don't forget about the last of those take-home quizzes, right? So I can get those graded and put in the book tomorrow. All right, so 2x plus y equals 9. I'm going to minus the 9, and I get 2x, I wrote this wrong, equals y plus 9. Okay, there we go. 2x minus 9 equals y. So that means that the slope, I love when kids write the slope and the y-intercept. You need to understand what goes through our heads as people grading your papers. The more stuff that you put on your paper that's correct, that was in your head, allows us to give you partial credit. If you just do the work and somehow make a mistake with the work, we don't ever know that you knew what you were doing. So by taking a second to write slope is and y-intercept is, we now know that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then up 2 over 1. There we go. Remember, always write the original equation on it. 2x equals y plus 9. Okay. Any questions on the red line? Good. Next one. 6x plus 3y is 15. I'm going to minus the 6x from both sides. Die. 3y equals negative 6x plus 15 divided by 3. And I get y equals negative 2x plus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down 2 over 1. I thought the numbers changed from the last one. Okay, so what am I getting at here? This looks kind of ugly.
It's so ugly.
Should it be right here? Right?
Yeah.
3.5 and
1, 2. So I'm going to, I see 3.5 comma negative 2.
Yep.
Okay, now let's just do the last thing and check and make sure, because it is an awkward looking point. So let's make sure everything checks. So I get 2 times 3.5 equals negative 2 plus 9. Yep, 7 equals 7, check, so that one works. Now, coming over here, 6 times 3.5 plus 3 times negative 2 equals 15. 21 minus 6 equals 15. 15 equals 15, check. Okay, so I know that it works. All right, any questions? Preguntas. AJ?
Is it okay if you change the scale?
Yes, absolutely. I would always caution against that when the numbers are pretty small, but it's not wrong to do it. It says, typically you're gonna change the scale when the y-intercept is, say, something like negative 19. Negative 9s kind of can go either way, okay? Any questions? All right, you guys can start your homework for the rest of the period. Tomorrow we go into graphing inequalities, which will be very similar, but not exactly the same. Oh, and I should mention and remind you, your relearn packets are due on, and that's it. Relearn packets due on the 15th, and on the 22nd, you have a test. So Thursday the 15th, the relearn packets are due.
oh, we got to just check.